good evening, folks. Dr. Freedom here with you. Time some Doctor News. News from in and around the universe that may or may not affect you on some deep emotional level that could either cripple you emotionally or enlighten you and take you up into the stuff. Oh my God, did I have a moment? All right. Yeah, it's just weird to me. It's been 24 hours since the troll last struck. But once again, I highly recommend if you receive any disparaging remarks and they appear to be somebody who is, off this show and all that, it's a fake account. Remember, mute, block, ignore is your best option. Like I said, YouTube channel runners have very little power to do anything about it because YouTube has made it extraordinarily easy for anyone to go out and create a fake account and put it up on, and do, run around and cause mayhem. Sadly, like I said in the last video, it's the equivalent, well, I can't call it adult equivalent because you got a bunch of man children running around playing ding dong ditch with various channels going, you're ugly, but what amazes me even more is when, another group, I got sent this video and the guy is calling me a fat, lazy slob. Meanwhile, and they're all making fun of me for wearing a mask in my videos. As a matter of fact, that very same mask hanging right there, I retired it. And yet the only person who has their camera on, even in the whole video, is the host. Also, the guy who's calling me a fat, lazy slob, the picture he has up, his face picture, over because his camera's off, is from when he was thin. But okay, let's move into the news. That's stuff that doesn't concern you. Let's get to the stuff you want here, all right? I'm sorry to drag you down with that. It's just I can't believe the amount of imbeciles that run around on YouTube. And it's just, well, moving on. Let's go into it. First off, okay, Girly Letters has put this image where she, has put all these little things naming what episode each clue came from. Remember, we got this image way back when, and everyone's like, and now she's identified, or sorry, he is identified. I keep forgetting that's a guy. It's the girly thing that throws me off. Yeah, he has identified every single image, or where basically where it comes from. And here you go, just to give you an idea. Hey, look, this is how far we have come. So if you want to do that, I'll put a link up to it for you down in the description box. Remember, everything is linked down in the description box if you want to follow along. All right, next up, 10 teasers of the Empress of Mars. The pre-title teaser may be set in the U.S., but the punchline is very British and even includes appropriate music. The Doctor hasn't seen The Terminator or The Thing. You'll giggle when you realize what film the Doctor has apparently watched. It's entirely possible that the TARDIS sputtering in the pyramid at the end of the world had nothing to do with Nardole being infected by the virulent bacteria, but in fact foreshadowed something in Empress of Mars. All right, blah, blah, given Empress of Mars, written before Matt Lucas joined the main cast. It should be no surprise that Nardole only appears briefly in the episode, but that doesn't mean he doesn't play an important role. You got to remember, they had to send the writers back to the writers saying, write Nardole in for the last part of the season. It's a whole different, what's going on. Some background, Robinson Crusoe, I'm going to leave the rest of these. Some of these get really lengthy. All right, Bill thinks this soundtrack is amazing. Pay particular attention to the image at 1:11 or 1 minute 11 seconds. And she names, right here, if you want to click on and find out. Don't belong. We're British. Mars is a part of the Empire now. RHIP means. And plundering the Empress's sarcophagus is not a gem of an idea. All right, moving on. And that is part of what's in this clip. I've already watched it, so this menu's popped up now, but don't worry, you're going to have a link here to go watch it for yourself. It's a little preview clip of the episode tomorrow. It's only a few seconds. It's not really spoilery, but, it depends on your definition of spoilery. Here's another one. Mark Gatiss and Steve Moffat are discussing, the episode. They reveal a little bit more about the episode. Like I said, not too long in a watch, but I think you'll enjoy it. All right. We have a synopsis. Once again, most of these were already printed up over on Radio Times, but somebody goes, I have read all of these already. You are a moron, Dr. Freedom. No, but I like to update them every now and then to refresh your memories in case you haven't been back there in a while. Okay, World Enough in Time, written by Steve Moffat. The BBC have confirmed the air date and synopsis for this one, and apparently it will premiere on June 24th. It's kind of sad we're getting very close now to the end of the Capaldi era. Sure, we're going to have to wait for Christmas, But, Series 10, is coming to an end. It seems like yesterday we we're all sitting there waiting a year for it. All right, friendship drives the Doctor into the rashest decision of his life. Trapped on a giant spaceship, caught in the event horizon of a black hole, he witnesses the death of someone he has pledged to protect. Is there any way he could redeem this mistake? Are events already out of control? For once, time is the Time Lord's enemy. Okay, we might consider this to be a little bit of a spoiler. Okay, like I said, I'm getting this from a friend of mine. I'm also getting this from one other place. It's not going to end well for Bill. At least not from what they're hearing. Bill, or to quote Minnesota Gallifreyan, Bill's going out bloody. If this holds up, like I said, or keep in mind, we've had sources lie to us before. But the thing is, it's not going to be a jolly, happy people holding hands ending. All right, if they stick to what is going on. If Moffat actually sticks to his guns this time instead of backing off and saving the companion at the last minute, or making them immortal and giving them their own TARDIS. Oh, sorry. All right, moving on. Peter Capaldi's Doctor Who is officially the darkest of the modern era, and what they're saying is it is rating-wise. He's had more episodes rated above the 12-year-old level than any other one. All right, forgive me. It's like I was reading his. Yeah, the 12 rating. And you see, you got the BB, blah, blah, here's the ratings system, blah, blah, blah. Apparently, more of Capaldi's episodes have rated 12 and up than any other Doctor, apparently. So I think they're going to stick to that. If this is true, it ain't going to end well for Bill. All right, moving on. Steve Moffat, 12th Doctor regeneration is going to be something different. I was going to go to the Radio Times article, but the reason I didn't is because, unlike the Radio Times, Cameron here actually links you back to the BBC radio interview so you can listen to it in case, you want to go back and hear the whole thing. But he goes, all right, blah, blah, blah. It ends on quite all right. The writer spoke of a Doctor Series 10 finale, stating, it, quote, it ends on quite an unexpected note. You all know that mighty Peter Capaldi will be bowing out, but we're going to do it slightly different this time. And I've been working with Chris Chibnall, the incoming Doctor Who showrunner, blah, 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 about how we do the changeover in a new way. I'm excited by it, and I think it's going to work well. Every regeneration is different, but we're playing it slightly different this time. I think we've got a good idea. So if you want to hear the whole thing, blah, blah, blah. Okay, moving on. This is, by the way, this week marked the 10th anniversary of the episode Blink, which I think, like I said, I can't say it's overrated because it is a very, very different episode. It's a very suspenseful episode. It did some really amazing things. So I can't, but the thing is, I can't call it a classic episode. A lot of people go, oh my God, it is. No. You see, this is the way I design it. It's a very memorable episode, but to me, Classic Who is anything made before, from 63 to 89. And that's why if I call an episode a classic, that means I think of a classic episode. See, a lot of people are going, you suck, Dr. Freedom. How could you say that episode ain't a classic? No, what I'm saying is if I use that term, then I start confusing it with classic Doctor Who episode. That's why I don't use it. And anything made after, 96, well, then again, it's kind of weird. Poor Paul McGann sitting there in the center, kind of like the frickin', thing in a tail, the poor net in the tennis game. Ding, dong, classic New Who, classic New Who, classic New Who. All right, but, that's on here. I'm not going any further. Moving on. Okay. Star Wars, Doctor Who. Now I've really lost it. Star Wars. Okay, Doctor Who stars, writers, and fans celebrate 10 years of Blink. And they go through some various folks here, various names you'll see. And, talk about, 10 years of Blink and what they thought about it, blah, blah, blah. I'll leave that one for you to read. Sorry I'm hurrying through this, but I'm trying to keep the videos times down a bit. Okay. Let's see, I skipped right past the headline. No, I didn't. All right. Sneak peek at Titan Comics' future Doctor Who releases. Okay, Titan Comics have released a sneak peek of some of the new covers from their future releases of the ongoing comic book adventures of the 10th and 12th Doctor. All right, here we go. 10th Doctor 3.8, Part 3 of 3. Check out some of this stuff here. Now, you see, I don't like this because over on the other site, Doctor Who News, they haven't put this up yet, which is why I'm not using there. You'd click on it and you get to see the full size, but no, you might see it. Oh, God. Like, you can't put a watermark on it, for crying out loud. And, of course, they've also got 12th Doctor 3.7. And, if you want to just get a glimpse, boom, 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 that's what it looks like. All right, and finally, on a down note, well, then again, it was kind of an up note a little bit because here it is, boys and girls. Read it and weep. Even though there was a slight upsurge in viewership, we now have the final things for BBC America for Class. And they finished off. Now, what they do is they have viewers. This is basically meant to be by the million. The show started off with 535,000 viewers, if you go by this. In the first week, it dropped off in the demographic from 18 to 49 by almost 60%, on 43% on the overall. And it just kept going down from there until you got towards the end when you had a small upsurge going out with 223,000 viewers. If you do not score anywhere near 1 million on BBC America, you are not even going to fall into the watchable, let alone remarkable, or even, amazing category, which Doctor Who falls into. And a lot of people have been jumping up and down going, well, it's all their fault, it's all their fault. In a way, it could be because maybe a lot of people watched it already because they put it out on BBC Three online last year. Then they put it out on BBC One and they put it in a death slot. Like Monday night, I think it was 10:45 p.m. And then they aired 2 episodes at a time so they can knock it off in a month. But the problem is this. If there were really a whole lot of big fans of it, there was still a lot of people out there in the world who hadn't watched it. BBC America promoted the shit out of this. They even put it with Doctor Who as a lead-in. And sorry, folks, it just fell flat on its face. And the thing is, like I said, I really, really had all the hopes in the world for this show. I really did. But after Night Visiting, which I believe was episode 3, it just went completely fracking nuts. I'm not kidding. And then by the end, spoiler alert, if you've not watched all of Class, get out now. Why in the name of hell would the Weeping Angels need a false board of governors on a school as a prelude to a Frelling invasion? You see right there, that didn't make any damn sense at all. It was just, oh, look, here they are. Oh, Theory 2, oh, we're going to be here. Oh, watch us. Unfortunately, as a lot of you already know, like I said, I hate to be mean about it, but it was the most meaningless reveal. There's suspension of disbelief, and then there's just plain damn ridiculous. And this fell past the ridiculous, way past into the ludicrous pasture. It shot out of the fairway, off the rough, and way out there where animals do the nasty. I'm not kidding. It just makes no damn sense at all, the Weeping Angel ending. And the thing is, like I said, as you all know, Patrick Ness has already pulled the ripcord. He's gone. And the thing is this. Anyone with any common sense knows it's a strategic maneuver. He's getting the hell out and getting away before they show up and close the doors and lock them off and say, have a good day. That's all it is. He's pulled the ripcord and jumped out of the frickin' plane, before it hits the ground. That's what it is. Oh, well, this video is dragging on, so I better get done and out of here. Once again, I love the fact that you've got people out there in the world who, like I said, I used to wear a mask. See, look, it still hangs there to this day. The problem is when it got to the point we were going to do a show with a celebrity, I decided I can't do this anymore because, I'd feel I'd be cheating the viewer if I'm sitting there talking to the celebrity wearing a mask. And like I said, it's funny as hell when you got a guy who's calling you a fat, lazy slob and our man-child and all these names. Meanwhile, he hasn't turned his camera on in how long on a video. And he's got a picture of himself up from Google or something like that, where, it's like how many years ago and he was much thinner. That shows to me who really is the insecure man-child, don't it? Good idea.